As their numbers grew and their canoes grew stronger, the descendants of the Lapita people felt the pull of the unknown. They left the western islands behind, setting their sails toward the rising sun. Fiji, Tonga, and Samoa, lush and fertile, became their new homes, anchoring the heart of what would become Polynesian civilization. With each journey, they read the stars, felt the rhythm of the waves, and memorized the flight paths of birds. These were not random wanderings, but intentional, expertly guided voyages. On each island, they brought their tools, plants, animals, and their stories. They laid the first stones of villages, planted taro in rich volcanic soil, and raised families beneath unfamiliar stars. This era marks the beginning of long-distance voyaging that would one day stretch across a third of the planet. In this bold push into the Pacific, a new culture was forming, adaptable, resilient, and forever guided by the sea. After weeks at sea, the explorers spotted land, green peaks rising from the horizon. They had reached the first stepping stones of Remote Oceania, Fiji, Tonga, and Samoa. These islands, rich in fresh water, fertile soil, and abundant resources, became their new homes. They cleared forests for farming, built canoes from breadfruit trees, and adapted to their new environment. From coral reefs to volcanic slopes, life took root in harmony with land and sea. Here, Polynesian culture began to crystallize, customs, language, and sacred traditions finding new form. Each island offered different challenges, and so the settlers adapted, sharing ideas, exchanging tools, refining their skills. What started as exploration now became settlement, stable, enduring, and deeply connected to place. These first island societies would become the cultural heartland of Polynesia, from which the next great journeys would one day begin. As the Lapita people journeyed further east, they reached new lands, Fiji, Tonga, and Samoa, remote and fertile islands on the edge of the known Pacific. Here, Polynesian identity began to crystallize. These islands became vibrant centers of culture, language, and society. Elders passed knowledge to the young around firelight, teaching sacred chants, star paths, and the names of ancestors. Tattoo artists etched identity into skin. Each mark a story, a genealogy, a map of belonging. The rhythm of drums echoed across coconut groves during festivals. Dances told tales of creation and courage. Woodcarvers shaped gods and memory into totems, while chiefs met beneath palm-thatched roofs to decide the course of their people. Language, rooted in shared ancestry, spread across the islands, carrying meaning through every vowel and gesture. These societies were deeply connected to land, to sea, to each other. In this early heartland of Polynesia, a culture was born, one that would sail farther than any before it. In these early island settlements, Polynesians transformed seafaring into a precise science. They studied the shifting winds, memorized the rhythm of ocean swells, and learned how seabirds could point to land beyond the horizon. At night, they read the heavens like a map, each star a marker, each constellation a path. They knew when to wait and when to go, the scent of distant islands on the wind, the shape of clouds hinting at land. Their canoes, crafted by hand and guided by heart, cut through thousands of miles of open ocean. Navigators trained for years, memorizing songs that encoded the sea's secrets, invisible highways passed down through generations. No compass, no written maps. Just the knowledge etched in memory, chanted under starlight. With every voyage, their skills sharpened. Their connection to sea and sky grew stronger. They were not lost. They were home on the ocean. As Polynesian voyagers settled new islands, they encountered diverse landscapes, volcanic mountains, coastal lagoons, and coral atolls, each requiring new ways to live and thrive. Their farming adapted to the environment, planting taro in swampy terraces and yams in dry soil, while managing precious water resources carefully. They fished skillfully, using stone fish traps, woven nets, and hand-carved hooks, always attuned to tides, bird patterns, and ocean rhythms. Their homes reflected island life, built on stilts to catch the breeze and protect from floods, with roofs woven from pandanus and coconut leaves. Food, tools, and knowledge traveled between islands, weaving a network of shared innovation and culture. Through resourcefulness and a deep respect for nature, these early settlers laid the foundation for vibrant island societies that flourished for centuries. As Polynesian island societies expanded and flourished, their leadership structures evolved into increasingly complex and highly organized systems. At the heart of this transformation stood the ali'i, or ariki, chiefs who wielded profound authority not only over land and resources, but over spiritual, ceremonial, and social life as well. These leaders were often regarded as having divine ancestry, a sacred connection to the gods that elevated their status and inspired deep loyalty among their people. Under their stewardship, land was meticulously divided and managed to ensure sustainable use of precious resources. Lush farming terraces, abundant fishing grounds, and vital forests were carefully maintained for the well-being of the entire community. Society itself became more stratified and efficient, with clearly defined roles. Skilled artisans, navigators, priests, and warriors all contributed to the strength and stability of the chiefdom. This growing hierarchy didn't just govern, it shaped the very fabric of Polynesian culture, politics, and identity, laying the foundation for the rise of even more sophisticated island civilizations in centuries to come. For centuries, Polynesian navigators safeguarded their extraordinary oceanic knowledge, not in books or scrolls, but through rich oral traditions passed down across generations. Stories, chants, and sacred songs became living libraries, encoding the secrets of the stars, the shifting winds, the pulse of ocean swells, and the flight patterns of seabirds, guiding voyages across thousands of miles of open Pacific waters. These master wayfinders memorized complex star maps, aligning their movements with constellations, reading the rise and fall of swells, and interpreting subtle signs in the environment with astonishing precision. Navigation was not just a skill, it was a sacred duty, a bridge between the past and the future, connecting each generation to their ancestors and their spiritual relationship with the sea. But oral tradition went far beyond wayfinding. It preserved myths, genealogies, and core cultural values, weaving the identity of each community despite vast distances. This dynamic living knowledge system ensured survival, unity, and expansion across the blue continent of the Pacific, passed down not through ink, but through voice, memory, and devotion. With thriving societies firmly rooted in Fiji, Tonga, and Samoa, the Polynesians stood at the threshold of their most daring chapter, a bold leap into the unknown reaches of the Pacific. These islands became vibrant centers of innovation, rich in culture, oral wisdom, and seafaring mastery, crucial staging grounds for an unprecedented wave of exploration. From here, expert navigators set out aboard sleek, double-hulled canoes, masterworks of ocean engineering, guided by the stars, the winds, and the teachings of countless generations. Armed with a deep spiritual bond to the sea and a sophisticated understanding of its rhythms, they traversed thousands of miles of open ocean to discover and settle far-flung islands like Hawaii, Tahiti, and Aotearoa, New Zealand. Their courage was matched by resilience and unity. Strong cultural identity, social cohesion, and reverence for ancestral knowledge ensured not only survival, but the flourishing of vibrant new societies in some of the world's most remote corners. This great migration etched Polynesian presence across the vast Pacific, shaping the geography, identity, and cultural legacy of Oceania for generations to come.